People think a power outage means a few hours of inconvenience, candles, flashlight, maybe a dead phone. But when the grid really goes down, it's not just your lights, it's your entire way of life that disappears. No ATMs, no gas pumps, no hospitals running full power, no communication. The silence hits first, then the panic, then the violence. The smart ones, they already move like the grid might never come back. That's what this is about. How to think and move when the power that runs the modern world shuts off. Before we begin, I'd like to say thanks for tuning into the Urban Warrior Podcast, the number one source for self-defense, survival, and the paranormal. I'm your host, and today we're going to be discussing how to survive when the grid goes down. If you like this type of content and you want more, make sure to like, subscribe, share, turn on post notifications, and join the community over on Discord, where we share stuff that we cannot talk about on these platforms and stay in constant communication. Without further ado, let's get it. For starters, the first thing you have to do is understand what the grid really is. So most people underestimate how fragile it all is. The power grid isn't one machine, it's millions of interconnected systems relying on perfect coordination. Take out a few key transformers or overload a few substations, and it's game over for entire regions. What's worse, you can't just flip it back on. Restarting the grid can take weeks, months, not just hours. People assume backup generators will save them, but those depend on fuel, which depends on the same grid for distribution. Imagine being stuck in a 30-story apartment when the lights cut out. Elevators dead, phones fading, and no one's gonna... So, the first 24 hours, the first day decides whether you stay ahead or join the panic. When power goes out, your first priority isn't to light candles, it's to secure information, water, and safety. Treat it like a full-scale crisis from the first minute, because by the time officials admit that it's serious, it already is. Many people waste time waiting for updates instead of moving. Information delays kills faster than hunger. Once a family in Texas once lost power for just 3 days during a cold snap. By night 2, water pipes burst, stores emptied, and roads froze solid. So next, when communication collapses. When the grid fails, so do the cell towers and the internet that keeps people connected. Your lifeline is going to be gone. You can't call for help, can't check the news, can't verify rumors. In that silence, panic spreads faster than the truth. You need alternative channels, radios, local meet points, and a team who knows what to do without a text message telling them. Most people think, oh, I'll just use my phone battery carefully. Problem is, towers die long before your phone does. So picture walking out of your building and seeing everyone staring at dead screens, no service, no info, just fear and confusion. That's very likely to happen. The fourth thing to think about is water, the real first priority. When electricity dies, water pumps stop too. The taps dry up, toilets back up, and panic sets. Within 24 hours, most people realize that they've got less drinkable water than they think. Store water now before you ever need it. If you're caught unprepared, start collecting and purifying immediately. Many underestimate how fast city water systems fail without pressure or power. It's not actually days, it's actually hours. A man in Detroit once filled his bathtub the second power went down during a storm. That one move kept his family alive for weeks. So number 5 is food and refrigeration. Everything in your fridge has a timer on it now. The moment the power cuts out, the clock starts ticking. So prioritize eating perishables first and ration dry or canned goods later. Don't open the fridge unless you have to. It holds the cold for only a few hours. You can bury sealed items underground or use natural cooling spots to preserve them longer. So people think they can cook it all and store it without cooling. Cooked food spoils faster than raw. Like once a couple in New Orleans lost power after a hurricane, they cooked their meat, stored it outside, and got food poisoning 2 days later. So the sixth thing to think about is security. When the lights go out, crime spikes instantly. No alarms, no cameras, no cops responding fast, as if they do anyway, just opportunity. You need to control your light discipline, sound, and visibility. Blackout curtains, minimal noise, and a plan for defense. Even good neighbors change fast when nights last too long and people get hungry. People assume my neighbors are cool until resources get scarce. Desperation changes people overnight, especially when their belly button is touching their spine because they're hungry. Picture a dark street where everyone's windows glow, but yours stays black. You just became invisible while they became targets. Number 7, you have to be smart about your heat and your light. Candles actually cause more fires and blackouts than anything else. So learn to light your space with minimal risk. LED lanterns, solar lamps, or chemical light sticks. For warmth, body heat and insulation matters more than flames. A cold night in the dark is bearable with planning, deadly without. People light too many candles or use propane heaters indoors and end up suffocating or burning down their houses. A prepper in Maine survived a week-long outage using just a tent inside his living room, sleeping bags, and one small camp stove outside. And lastly, you need to think about your long-term adaptation. If power doesn't come back on, you're not just surviving, you're rebuilding. You'll need to think beyond batteries and flashlights. Bartering, gardening, local defense, and mutual tools become the new grid. The mindset shift is brutal. From consumer to creator, from dependent to dangerous, the ones who adapt fast lead, the rest fade. Most people think the grid will always come back, but history shows civilization resets more often than it actually advances. Picture the silence of a whole city after a week of blackout. No hums, no lights, just stars and survival. That's when the real test begins. In conclusion, I just want to say the grid is the heartbeat of modern life. And when it flatlines, most people won't know how to breathe without it. But survival isn't about panic. It's about preparation, adaptability, and mindset. The moment power fades, the world splits in two: those who freeze and those who move. Your job, be the one who moves first. So thanks again for tuning in to the Urban Warrior Survival Podcast, your number one source for self-defense, survival, and the paranormal. Again, feel free to join me over on Discord, where we will be posting stuff from the community. You're allowed to post stuff. I'm going to be posting stuff. And a lot of the content that I'm going to be making is going to be based upon information that you guys are going to give me. Also, I'm going to be live streaming on multiple platforms at the same time. So you can pick your favorite, whether it's Twitch, YouTube, Kick, TikTok, IG, or whatever. I prefer Twitch, obviously because of the ad rev, or Rumble. All of these links are going to be in the description, or all of the links are also on my website. And if you do like this channel is not yet monetized, and I would appreciate any type of contribution that you can give. I do have a Patreon. Donations start as little as $1.75 a month, but there are like 7 tiers with a lot of really cool stuff. Just check it out. Let me know what you think. And also feel free for a one-time donation to hit me on the Cash App. All of the links are going to be in the description. Until next time, thanks again for tuning in. This is the Urban Warrior Survival Podcast. Signing out. Peace.